This is one of the questions from the exam review for test 2, and it's question number 9. It has to do with making a decision, comparing two options. We've got a telephone system that can be purchased for $6,500, so that would be obviously option 1. We can purchase it today for $6,500, or alternately, we can enter into a leasing agreement that is available, which requires an immediate payment of $500 plus follow-up payments of $100 at the beginning of each month for 5 years. Aha! Beginning is important here. That is an annuity due. And the telephone system can then be purchased at the end of the lease for $1,000. If money is worth 9%, and we assume that that is 9% effective, which means it's compounded annually. Effective means compounded annually. And so we always assume it's compounded annually unless we're told otherwise. Should the telephone system be purchased right away or leased and then purchased? Well, I'm going to compare the two options. And option number one is buying it today. So that's the purchase option. And so what is my time diagram going to look like for the purchase option? Well, it's going to look like this. There's not much going to happen here except that I'm going to be paying out $6,500 today. So that's option number 1. Nothing else, no other cost. The present value of option number 1 is simply $6,500. And that's that. No calculations necessary. Now let's take a look at option number 2. So option number 2 is to lease. And what are the payments that are involved in the lease program or in the lease plan? The payments that are involved are as follows. First of all, we have a 5-year lease. And so that's going to involve monthly payments over the 5 years, and that's going to be 12 each year. There's going to be 60 monthly payments. But the first payment is $500, and it's paid immediately. So I'm going to mark that on my timeline, this $500 immediate payment. That's at 0. And in addition to that, we're going to be making $100 at the beginning of every month for 5 years. So I'm going to be making an additional $100 at the beginning of every month. So it's going to start today. And $100, that's an annuity due, people. And N is still going to be 60. So since I'm making them at the beginning, my last payment is going to be at the beginning of the 60th month, which is at the end of the 59th month. So I'm going to mark that annuity due right here. So there's my annuity due of N is equal to 60 payments. And these payments are made at the beginning. So I'm going to make sure that my calculator is set to BGN mode. BGN for beginning. And in addition to that, I'm also going to purchase the equipment outright at the end of the lease for an additional $1,000. So there's an additional payment of $1,000 to be made at the end of the 5-year period. So I've got a total of 60 payments of $100 plus an additional $1,000 payment at the end of the 5th year, plus I have an additional $500 payment today. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to calculate the present value of option number 2. And that present value of option number 2 is going to be the present value of the $500, which is just $500, plus the present value of that $1,000 brought back to today's date. So that's going to be $1,000 discounted to today's date at 1 plus 9% per year for a discount period of 5 years, plus the present value of this annuity due. And I will work out what the present value is of the annuity due on the next page. And what I'm going to do then is to compare that present value of option 2 to the present value of option 1. Now let's go to page 2. For the present value of the annuity due, it's going to be equal to $100 per month multiplied by the present value factor for an annuity due. So it's going to be 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate per month. There's going to be a total of 60 monthly payments divided by the interest rate per month. You'll notice that I'm not bothering to put that interest rate in just yet. And then I have to multiply it by the 1 plus I factor per month to the power of 1 because it is an annuity due, because the payments are made at the beginning of every period. Now this is per month, and I don't have a per month rate. What I have actually is an interest rate of 9% compounded annually. So what I would need to do is to step aside and compute the equivalent rate per month that is equivalent to 9% compounded annually. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the built-in functions on the calculator. I'm going to use the BA2 plus and make sure that the calculator is set to BGN mode, and I'm going to use I/y is equal to 9, C/y is equal to 1, because the compounding periods per year is compounded annually, and the P/y is equal to 12. There are 12 monthly payments per year. And once I get out of that, I'm going to indicate that the number of periods or number of payments is 60. We have 60 payments in this annuity due. It is set to BGN mode, and I'm going to ask you to compute, CPT, compute the present value of this annuity due. And that present value works out to be a value of $48.92 today. And that's the present value of those lease payments of $100 per month made at the beginning of every month. So now I can compute the total present value of option number 2. That will equal the $500 plus the $1,000 payment that is due at the end of the 5-year period. It will be discounted to $649.93 plus the present value of the monthly lease payments of $100 at the beginning of every month. That works out to be $48.92. So when I add those three amounts up, the present value of option 2 works out to be $6,000 and 42.06 cents. So which option is better? Which option is more cost effective for the company that is interested in this equipment? Well, the present value of purchasing the equipment is $6,500. The present value of leasing the equipment with all of the other costs factored in is $6,042.06 cents. It is clear that leasing has a lower present value by an amount of $457.94. So leasing is cheaper overall for the company with a present value of lower value by $457.94. This has a cost value in terms of present value dollars that is much less than purchasing it outright.